Hello, Moonwatcher. Welcome to Jade Mountain Academy. You fucking hate your tribe. You're stuck with silly ass dragons, and the voice of a 2,000-year-old super dragon is driving you mad. This is Moon Rising, and I'm about to break it down with massive maximum sass. Welcome to Jade Mountain Academy, the first ever attempt at Dragon World Peace, run by the freaking Chaos Squad from Arc 1. Moonwatcher is not vibing. She's stuck with dragons who won't stop talking, and she's not built for social interaction. Oh, and she hears voices, specifically one very old and very evil voice who has very specific plans for him. Meanwhile, the rest of the academy is filled with dragon teenagers, meaning peak drama potential. Ghibli, Winter, and Moon form a love triangle disaster, which fans fight over all the time, because of course they fucking do. Kinkajou is aggressively trying to make friends with, while Moon is aggressively trying to avoid everyone. Winter is all brooding and trauma because his Icewing family is the worst. Ghibli is out here being the biggest nerd, trying to flirt and solve mysteries at the same time. Turtle is being shady, acting like the world's most average dragon while secretly holding back ancient magic powers. Oh, and there's an assassin on campus because apparently school isn't stressful enough. Moon keeps hearing this little boy's name, Darkstalker. He's an ancient Nightwing super dragon whispering in her head like he's hosting a villain podcast. She keeps trying to ignore him, but he's got a lot of thoughts on how she should live her life. Meanwhile, tensions explode because, surprise, some dragons would rather fight than do homework. Moon finally caves and lets... Wait, that's not what happens. Wait, no, that's what happens. Winter is mad, Ghibli is skeptical, Turtle is fading into the background, and Moon is extremely overwhelmed. Meanwhile, Darkstalker is out here acting like he's the protagonist, just casually re-entering society like he's gonna do later. I forgot to say spoilers. I should edit that. Fuck. Moral of the story: maybe don't release ancient dragons from magical imprisonment just because they seem nice. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't do this in later books. Welcome to Arc 2, where the problems are less war and more oops. We brought back literal legend. A snow dragon complaining about how he gets no fucking play, and his family's is all a bunch of house sparrow twit twats that hate him for 336 pages. This is Winter turning. Winter is deep in his feelings, mostly about how nobody likes him and everything is rigged against him. His family is as toxic as glaciers, treating him like a malfunctioning decorative icicle rather than an actual dragon. Ice Wings live by a ranking system, which is basically, are you cool enough? No? Then suffer! Winter has zero patience for this nonsense, but negative confidence, so he's spiraling on multiple levels. Meanwhile, he's completely oblivious to the fact that he's absolutely thirsting after Moon, who is too busy listening to Ancient Villain podcast to notice. Oh, and his brother? He sets out to find his missing brother Hailstorm, because at least one family member has to be tolerable. Turns out, Hailstorm was brainwashed and in prison, because why not add more fucking trauma? Yeah, that's just what we need in life. Meanwhile, Ghibli is over here trying to keep Winter from imploding, but Winter barely tolerates his existence. Turtle is still being weirdly passive because he's hiding super OG magic powers for no reason. Kikaju wants everyone to just get along, but that's just impossible with Winter's personality. Icewing politics continue to be unbearable, proving that glacial snobbery is a lifestyle. Winter finally has a moment where he realizes, wait, maybe I don't need my family's approval? It only took an entire freaking book, but progress is progress. Hailstorm gets rescued, but he's also deeply traumatized, so Winter's victory is kinda hollow. Winter once tries having emotions that aren't just anger and ice people in the face. The book ends with Winter still having zero romantic success, as making Winter Watcher invalidated. Moral of the story, just because your family sucks, doesn't mean you have to suck too. What's the arson alphabet? Asked Peril. The angry, clay-loving fire scales may know a thing or two, because she is. And this is Escaping Peril. This is Escaping Peril. Peril's entire personality is, I burn things and love clay. But she's trying to evolve. Spoiler? It's not going great. She joins the squad on a mission and immediately struggles with basic social interaction. Pearl's brain is set to arson mode, but she's really trying hard not to incinerate everyone. Her internal monologue is just don't set things on fire. Don't set things on fire. Enter Queen Scarlet, who is still the worst, and she's got new evil plans. Peril is emotionally torn because Scarlet was the closest thing she had to a parental figure, which is so fucked up and unfortunate. Meanwhile, Turtle is still pretending he's weak while secretly being absurdly OP and being Turtle's friend, and being Peril's friend. Clay is doing his best to guide Peril, but she struggles with basic morality. Peril finally acknowledges that maybe murder isn't the best problem-solving method. But getting angry probably is. Scarlet unleashes the most dramatic plot twist. She has a resurrected champion. Ruby's dead father, Tourmaline. And Peril has a full-blown identity crisis, realizing that her whole existence was just Scarlet's pawn piece. Scarlet, in classic villain fashion, is just thrilled to cause emotional destruction. Peril finally has a moment of self-realization where she asks, who am I if I'm not just destruction? The book ends with Peril choosing her own path, away from both Scarlet's control and blind devotion to Clay. Character development finally happening. Moral of the story? Fire doesn't have to be destruction, it can be transformation. The Fire Nation! Turtle is a worthless old sea-wing. Not. Look at him. And also, someone is free! And Turtle is hiding from that someone with a fucking hiding stick. Also, siblings fight and Anemone also turned to the dark side. Almost. This is Talents of Power. Turtle has spent his entire time playing the I'm totally average role. But surprise! He is actually absurdly powerful. Why? Because he has Animus magic, which is basically wizard dragon abilities, except way more dramatic. Meanwhile, someone has been freed, and that someone is Darkstalker, aka the problematic ancient sorcerer. Turtle's first reaction? Hide immediately, like some random bitch-ass NPC. He's deeply aware that if Darkstalker figures out he's an animus, things will go very, very, very bad for him. Meanwhile, his younger sister, Anemone, has zero hesitation about flaunting her magic. She starts doing some very questionable spell experiments, and it's giving dark side energy. Turtle tries to talk her out of bad decisions, but let's be real, she's not listening. Oh, and Darkstalker? Best manipulator in the world. And he's already found his way into an enemy's thoughts. Meanwhile, Turtle is trying to figure out how to stop Darkstalker without dying. Let's be honest, Turtle's default setting is self-doubt, so his plan barely holds together. This is a lot to take in. Turtle. And then he finally goes to full aggressive sibling mode, proving she is not above throwing hands. Turtle, despite being more powerful, is deeply uncomfortable with the fight. The sibling drama is beyond messy, but Turtle ultimately refuses to go full villain. At some point, everyone realizes Darkstalker is basically planning world dominion. Of course he is. The book ends with Turtle barely surviving, still playing the quiet observer, but now fully aware that magic can ruin lives past. Also, Darkstalker has abducted him and taken away his magic, so boo-hoo, rip bozo, you are dead. Kibble spends an entire book mentally spiraling over not being born with magic, while casually proving he doesn't even need it to be brilliant. Here's the darkness of Dragon's Breakdown with the sass. Kibble! Our favorite hyper-intelligent desert nerd is stuck wishing he had animus magic. He's smart enough to know magic can be dangerous, but does that stop him from feeling jealous? No. Meanwhile, Darkstalker is out here acting like a smooth-talking god, reshaping reality at will. Kibble sees all of this insanity and thinks, what if I could fight back with magic? Bad news, he can't. Good news, his brain is OP enough to counter it. While everyone is flipping and freaking out, Kibble starts strategizing like an absolute chess master. Meanwhile, Turtle, the actual Animus Wizard, is traumatized and barely using his power at all, because he doesn't fucking have it. Kibble outsmarts him, proving that raw intelligence equals reckless magic all day. Darkstalker throws plague spells around like confetti, but Kibble finds the cracks in every plan. Everyone else? We are doomed! Kibble? Or I could just think harder. Like, don't be a bitch. His biggest brain moment was realizing magic items can't undo animus spells. Boom! Counterplay unlocked. Magic isn't unbeatable. It's just misunderstood. Also, family trauma time. Kibble's mother is awful. His old Sandman crew is worse. Despite hearing this, Kibble proves he's better than them, carving his own path instead of falling into their toxicity. Meanwhile, he's secretly in love with Moon. But who isn't at this point? The fandom is going to be waging a war against you anytime soon, just for this Moon Kinter association. Final showdown. Kibble maneuvers Darkstalker using zero magic but pure intellect. And when the ultimate decision arrives, the answer isn't a violent battle, but a choice to undo Darkstalker's evil altogether. Also known as the most dangerous fruit in the world, the strawberry. The strawberry. The freaking strawberry. I'm gonna end the video right here.